Hi, baby. Come here, baby. Come here.
Go say
Where are
hi.
you? Oh, you smell my babies? Yeah.
So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking Red out and we're going to be going on a walk with her. Up until this point, what we've been doing is a lot of relationship building, a lot of just spending time with her. Not a whole lot of obedience, not a whole lot of structure, nothing like that. Really just spending time with her. The last session we recorded, it was just us trying to play with her. We've continued to do sessions like that, trying to get her to play. She's starting to come out a little bit, especially inside or early morning when she has a lot of energy. She'll play a little bit, bite the toy a little bit, tug a little bit, but then quickly loses focus, right? So again, we're still simultaneously trying to build that up and work that. But at the same time, we can do other things in the meantime while we're trying to build up her desire to play so that we can work on the obedience. Usually what I do with a lot of dogs, I recommend people do, build that motivation first, then start doing the obedience. Start teaching things like play, sit, down. That way we can start teaching the dog the communication system that we're going to use, all of our mark words, things of that nature. She's at a point where she's not quite ready for us to begin doing any of that because her play is not right where we want it to be. However, what we can do is we can take her out, we can take her on walks, and we can teach her recall, and we can also teach her to walk nicely by her side, the heel command. We can do that without having to use the toys in the training. And so we're basically gonna take her out on a walk. We're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna be teaching her those two things. So let's get going. Come on, we're Red. I always tell a lot of my clients, 90% of the time, the dog should be free, sniffing around, exploring. Free, being able to go to the extent of the flex leash, sniff on the ground, just explore. The dog has freedom of choice. The dog doesn't have to be by my side when I'm walking, especially a dog like her. We're trying to build her confidence up. She stays very close to me as the human because she's insecure. So we need to have her develop some self-confidence. The best way to do that is to give the dog freedom. Once we give the dog freedom, and we're just here to kind of supervise, make sure she doesn't get into trouble. That's what the flexi leash is for. At any point she's doing something she's not supposed to, I can stop her, right? But I also don't want to keep her at my side the entire walk. She needs to learn to be independent and to develop some self-confidence. Well, on this walk, one of the things we want to do, again, biggest takeaway is helping her build some self-confidence. We've been doing multiple walks with her throughout the day, letting her go out, sniff, explore, helping her build that self-confidence. One of the things we're going to accomplish today when teaching her a recall command and also the heel command is we're going to start establishing some kind of authority with the dog. We're going to start utilizing some communication with the dog and teaching the dog that there's some times where the dog has to do the thing that I'm asking them to do. I'm about to trip over that. All right, come on. So what I'll be doing here is I'll let her kind of go out a little bit ahead of me. And then I'll give her a recall and I'll utilize the leash and collar to enforce that recall. So once she gets a little bit further, Red, come. Good girl. Red. Good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl. Yeah. Super. Good girl. And it's as simple as that. Doesn't have to be complicated. She's up to the extent of the leash. I give her the come command and I'm just using the leash, tap, 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 to bring her back to me. And then boom, she's back off to exploring again. What we don't want to do is we don't want to create what's called a a sticky dog, a dog who's staying by her side all the time. I want her most of the time to be out on the walk and only to come back when I want her to come back. We don't want the dog to be sticky because again, we want to build up her confidence. The primary goal as a trainer and as your dog's owner is to first focus on building your dog's confidence. Once we build their confidence, then we start layering control. If we don't build her up as a dog, then we have nothing, we have no give, right? When we start to ask her to do obedience, if she has no confidence, we just shut her down. So the first thing we do, we build confidence, we build power, then we layer in control. Control is easy to create. If you have a dog who's confident, you have a dog who's, ready to go, we can add control like that. What's really challenging, a lot of people have a hard time building a dog up, motivating a dog, getting a dog out of their shell. So again, we'll just kind of let her wander a little bit, give her a recall when she gets further away. Red, come. Good girl, come on. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yeah, super. Good girl, Bree, come on. Woohoo. Good girl. And again, simple as that. She comes back, split second, then immediately back off to exploring, being free, roaming. We're gonna go this way where there's lots of grass. Again, give her plenty, ample of opportunity to go explore, sniff things. And if she wants to sniff, that's fine, right? I'm being mindful of the leash, not allowing her to go into the road into danger, right? Again, giving her that freedom while also having a method of control over the dog. It is going to do wonders to build a dog's confidence. Okay. So this next one, we'll probably do a recall, and then I'll start introducing the heel command to her. With the heel command, all I want her to do is come back to my side. I'll maybe take 1 or 2 steps, and I want to keep her by my side before I release her back out to go forward. Red, come. Good girl. That's a good girl. Good girl. Red, heel. I'll just use that leash. Tap, tap, tap. Get her in that position. Red, heel. If I stop, I use the leash to stop her. Heel. Good. Break. Good girl. Then I release her. Big thing I want to do is when I release her, I want to make sure I'm very clear with her that she's free, right? I don't want the dog to second guess if they're supposed to be in the obedience position or if they're able to be free and enjoying the walk. Again, most of my walks I take with the dog, I'll just take the dog out and I'll periodically recall them, put them in a heel position before releasing them back to the walk. 90% of the time, the dog's free. 10% of the time, I'll do some kind of obedience, have the dog in a heel, put the dog in a recall, maybe do some obedience, sit down, depending on the dog's skill level. Biggest thing that this is accomplishing, it's showing her that I can let her have a good time. I can let her be a dog, explore, but I'm also adding in layers of authority and communication over top of our relationship. She can have fun. She can sniff all this grass that's out here. She can do anything she wants, so long as it's not dangerous like running into the road. But when I ask her, come, when I ask her, heel, I'm establishing my authority using the tools that I have to get compliance to those obedience commands. That is going to do wonders for our relationship, simultaneously building her confidence, but then also adding in some layers of authority that's gonna help us.
Awesome.
We're gonna start walking back this way. What you doing, huh? Again, one thing I'm not looking for a sticky dog. I don't want her stuck to my side and afraid to go explore, right? There's a lot of trainers out there. They just correct the dog, keep the dog in that heel position. I don't want that dog to be just so glued to me where the dog doesn't feel confident enough to go explore the environment. I want to do the opposite. I want to build that power. I want to build that motivation to explore. And I want to start adding control. You'll notice all the dogs that come into our training system, when we take them on walks like this, when we introduce the recall command and the heel command, we don't utilize any treats, right? The reason why is we don't need treats for this. Her reward is the freedom to go explore. We're using the thing the dog wants most, freedom, as the reward for the obedience. The beautiful thing with that is we're using what the dog wants. A lot of dogs, they don't really want the treat that you have. They'll eat it, sure, and they'll go into that heel position to eat that treat. But at the end of the day, the dog wants freedom. So I'm gonna use what the dog wants, not what I think the dog wants. And what ends up happening is rather than the dog doing the obedience and being manipulated for that treat, the dog's learning, hey, if I do this obedience that this owner or this human wants me to do, I'm gonna get what I want, which is this freedom. We're building a relationship where the dog learns that if they do what I need them to do, I'll give them what they want. Simultaneously, just because the dog wants to go sniff the grass out in the yard doesn't mean they can ignore the recall command or ignore that obedience. Again, I'm layering elements of authority over top the dog. So it's the best of both worlds. We give the dog the freedom to do all the things they want to do, while simultaneously having control and authority over the dog to ask them or command them to do the things we need them to do. Red, come. Good girl. That's a good girl. Red, heel. Good girl. Heel. So, right now, break, good girl. She was just in a heel command. I released her. A lot of times I like to kind of tap the dog. I like to jump out of position. I like to enthusiastically show the dog that they're free out of the position. That way the dog has no second guessing in their mind if they're free out of that position. She's
Day
just a
one.
good dog. She's only been with us for like 3-4 days now. We are training her. But she's, I mean, out of the box, genetically, she's just a very easygoing dog. Like, she's just a pretty easy dog. We're just working on her confidence because she's a little timid. What? Oh yeah, she's super friendly. You want to pet her?
Do you mind if you're on camera?
Yeah, we're just doing a little YouTube video.
Hi, baby. Come here, girl. Come here.
Go say
How are
hi.
you? Oh, you smell my babies? Hey, good girl. Hey, good girl.
See how she's like kind of
You're
timid and
fine,
stuff.
baby. You're fine, boo.
Come on, hey.
Come here. Here. What are you doing? I should get a treat for her. What are you doing? There you go. Oh, that's a good girl. Good girl. There you go. There you go.
She's what?
She's a year. She's turning a year this year.
Yeah.
Does she come from you got her from rescue?
Or? So the owners got her from a breeder.
Yeah.
A really nice breeder.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of confidence. She's had some stuff in her life recently, like got into some chickens,
Yeah.
and so that kind of took. So she got a little bit of a rude awakening. Hey, don't bite the chickens. So she's got a little bit of confidence lost from that, but then also just she's wary, just kind of naturally.
Yeah, I mean it's not terrible. Like I mean we've seen dogs that are way worse where they're very fearful
To the point where they're like biting people.
Yeah. I mean she's just cautious. Maybe I don't know how much the owner's socialized her, maybe a little under socialized. But cool. But again, honestly, like
Oh yeah, very
this
gorgeous.
is not super bad compared to some other dogs.
You don't see a lot of the
Long-haired.
Oh no, I was gonna say the fawn coming up on the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see them actually black across, but you don't see.
Yeah.
I seen one that was black all the way across except the legs that were all fawn.
Wow.
Like it just with it.
Yeah.
The opposite.
You know.
All right, y'all have a good
Yeah.
evening.
Thank you. Thanks for saying hi to her.
Let's go. So yeah, right there we can see, like I've been saying, like she lacks a lot of confidence, right? She's a dog that our primary focus shouldn't be doing a whole lot of obedience on her. It should be really focused on building her up, developing her as a dog, making her feel confident about herself. Another thing comes to socialization, right? There's a lot of people out there, they don't want their dogs interacting with other people. And I understand, if you don't want your dog interacting with other people, that's fine. A dog like her, however, she needs to go up to other people. She needs to befriend other people. She needs to find that people can be a source of good things. Whether that's physical attention, play, treats. Again, not a big fan of the treats, but if we can have her learning that people are a good thing, not something to be weary of or stranger danger of. Again, she needs to build up her confidence. That is something that her primarily focus is building that confidence. We give her that freedom. You can see too where I went up to that person, I interacted with the person. I didn't really force her to interact, but I did encourage her, right? We're not doing anything to really force a social interaction, but we are trying to encourage a social interaction. There's a lot of things that we can do. Obviously, every dog's different. There may be dogs that we may approach in a different way, but a lot of dogs, we really want to encourage that social interaction with other people, especially if they're like her, where they lack some confidence, they're a little weary of people. So we'll get back to doing a couple of recalls, a couple of heel positions, let her get ahead a little bit. Red, come. Good girl. That's a good girl. She's a really smart dog, right? A lot of the show shepherds, right? Very mellow dogs, very chill dogs, very intelligent dogs. She's picking up fast. A lot of dogs, it may not be this easy if you're trying to do this at home with your dog. They may not respond as easily, and that's okay. You just gotta understand that you gotta be consistent with it to get the dog to do it. We'll do one more recall and then put her in a heel. Basically the steps to the recall, we let her get away. We say the recall command, we use the leash, tap, tap, tap. I'll immediately then, but not always, but with this next rep, I'll then put her in a heel position and then use the leash and collar to tap her, to get her into that heel position, that box next to me. And then I'll start moving. I can move a step or two forward, then stop, use the leash to keep her in that box, so on and so forth. Red, come. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yeah. Red, heel. Good. Super. Red, heel. Super. Good girl. That's a good girl. When I stop, she stops. When I go, she goes. If I'm walking fast, she keeps up. If I slow down, she's gonna maintain that speed. I'm just using the leash and collar to keep her in that position. to help guide her forward or back, left or right, based on where I need her to be. Good girl. If I do a U-turn, Red, heel. She comes with me. If I do a left turn, she also comes with me. Good girl. In the beginning, I don't want to do a whole lot. Break, good girl. So I want to give her lots of breaks. I want to give her lots of freedom, right? I want to give her a big payout for a little bit of work. She does a little bit of heel work, and then she gets 5-10 minutes of freedom exploring, right? Depending on your dog, they may be really motivated by that. And a lot of dogs, they're very motivated, especially if you give them that freedom. They will work for that freedom. They want to go sniff and explore. So we're just utilizing, again, one of the things the dog wants in our training to get the dog to do the thing that we need them to do. I'll let her get ahead. I'll do another couple reps. Red, come. Good girl, come on. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl, Red, heel. Good, that's a good girl, Red. Heel. Good girl. Heel. You can see every time I move, I'm gonna reissue that command. She's still learning. I wanna give her as much assistance, as much help as possible to help her find the right answer. Heel. Good girl. Then I can stop. Red, break, good girl. And then she's free to go explore. I wanna be very clear with her. I don't want any confusion. Like I said, you create a sticky dog if you go on a walk and all you ever do is correct the dog to maintain that heel position. You're gonna confuse the dog. The dog is not gonna know when they're allowed to explore and when they have to be in a heel position. If you maintain clarity with the dog and be very clear, you're allowed 100% freedom when I say break. You have to comply to 100% of my obedience when I say heel. When you're very clear with the dog and you give the dog those two white or white and black alternatives, you be very clear with the dog, you're gonna find this a lot easier. If you're going on a walk and you're expecting your dog to stay in a heel position the entire time, it's gonna be frustrating for your dog, especially a dog who wants to go explore, wants to go sniff. So we do this with a dog like her for a few reasons. One, we can establish some of that authority, some of that control early on. But then also we're helping to build her confidence. Walks like this, we're hitting two birds with one stone. We're simultaneously helping build her confidence, giving her freedom, but then we're layering some of that obedience, some of that control. You'll notice this entire time, her body language as a dog, she's a pretty passive dog. Her tail's, even when she was free and walking, her tail's down like that. I was talking to that other gentleman over there. She's a show line shepherd. A lot of these show line shepherds, depending on their lines and stuff, they're bred to be pretty chill and relaxed dogs. I actually have a show line shepherd myself. She was very much like her around this age, right? Now she's a little bit different. Now she's a little bit more confident because I've invested a lot of time building her up and getting my own dog to where she needs to be. These are the types of dogs you got to do a lot of building, right? You can't be doing a whole lot of heavy-handed obedience. You can't be doing a whole lot of control early on. You got to give the dog some freedom, let them blossom, let them explore. Even as it is, the other day we were trying to play with her in our training sessions. We're trying to play with her, get her playing, and I'm trying to get her to bite a toy. And occasionally she's biting my hand, right? If it's any other dog, usually I'll put an end to it. I'll try to tell the dog, hey, you're not allowed to do that. I'll correct it. But with her, I'm letting her make those mistakes because I don't want to squash her too soon. I can address that later on. I can stop her from biting me when we're playing. But I need to bring her out first. I need to get her playing before I can start adding in those controls. A lot of people make a mistake by adding too much control in the beginning, especially when they're a puppy or young dog, when we need to build up the dog and help grow them. So that's a wrap for this session with her. We're gonna, again, continue to do more long walks with her, take her out, similar stuff like this, continue to try to build her desire to play and interact with us. Once we kind of have those two pieces together, a few more days, we'll probably do some more. We'll start getting into the obedience. We'll start teaching her place. Then we'll start going over the sit, the down, doorway manners, things of that nature. But again, the biggest thing with her, building her confidence, making her feel like a strong dog, and giving her some independence is really what we're focusing on.